Now I'm going to show you how to do a purl stitch. Now I've done a couple of rows on this little swatch that I'm knitting. This is stockinette, so one row is knit and the other row is purl. Now I am just going to start a purl row here so I can show you how to do that. Now it's very similar to a knit stitch, but we are going to go in, so instead in a knit stitch you put your needle through this side of the loop of your stitch and in like that. For a purl we are going to actually take the needle from this side through and up to the front. When you're doing a purl though, what you do need to be aware of is your yarn needs to be in front of your work, and that can be tricky on the first stitch of a row, so especially when using circular needles, so you must make sure that you are going under the yarn on the first stitch so that your yarn is being held at the front. So I've got my yarn tensioned, or I've got my finger ready to do that. I'm going to take my needle in through the middle of my stitch at the right hand side and up the front of the needle, and I'm in between that stitch there. I hope you can see that. So one side of the loop is over my needle. Then I'm going to take my working yarn, I'm going to wrap it round the back of the needle. Then I need to pull the loop through the middle of the stitch. I hope you can see this. And then we want the old stitch to drop off. And I will show you that again. I can get this tension better now I've done that first stitch. So my right hand needle goes through the middle of the stitch and out the front. And then I wrap my working yarn around that needle and I go very slowly, pull it through and out the back, and then the old stitch off. What you need to be careful of when you're doing a purl, and I'll show you again, is that it can sometimes, especially if your work's tight, be quite tricky to maneuver the needle and the yarn so that it comes through the middle of a stitch and out. It can be quite easy to do that, and then it pops off the needle. So just be careful to try and pull it through. Once you get the rhythm of this, it is quite easy to do. So yarn tensioned from my ball, so that's my working yarn, needle in the middle and then up the front, wrap the working yarn round, pull it down and through the middle of the stitch to create a new one, and then the old stitch you pop off. Now if you have mastered casting on your knits and your purls and you would like to go to the next stage, you can do a basic knit flat scarf, but if you would prefer to try a scarf knit in the round, I do have a beginner friendly series where again I do go through cast on, knits and explain knitting in the round, and it does help you if you want to be progressing on to doing garments knit in the round. So have a look on my channel. It's the Learn to Knit, how to knit a scarf in the round, and I think that is a great beginner knit, and it will all help you with practicing your knit stitches and your tension and knitting in the round. Thanks for watching. Bye.